This is just like a brief selection of peppers. White pepper is the first iteration of pepper that we get out of the pepper pods or pepper seeds. They go from there, then they're roasted and they're turned into black peppercorn. There's different variations or different grades of pepper. They can go from like A grades, B grades, and C grades. And then there's grades that you really wouldn't want to touch, which is going to be like your table ground peppers that you guys buy at the grocery store, the canisters. Those are usually really low grade peppers and they actually contain more sticks and twigs from the pepper plant than they do peppercorn. So be really wary of that. Make sure you get good peppercorn. I can tell you that right now. The better the peppercorn you buy, the better off you're going to be. So these are pretty good ones, and you know, this is just a basic telecherry peppercorn. Alright, so that's what these are both from. This right here is a pink peppercorn, which really isn't a pepper. It's like Szechuan peppercorns. They're really not a pepper. They're kind of a berry that dries out that has the same kind of texture and bite that they do. Pink peppercorns and Szechuan peppercorns have kind of a tinny, kind of sharp bite to them. The neat thing is that this goes really well with white chocolate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really amazing with white chocolate.
Just to kind of bring out
the sweetness, exactly. Yeah. So these are just some peppers that we have on campus. I'm going to get into this in a minute. Next, I have some celery seed, which is a really good alternative to salt. If you grind it up, powder it up, you'll see it labeled as celery salt. Actually, there's no salt added. It's just this ground up. Some of them will, so be aware of that. It's best to do it on your own. In Chicago, this is like, ooh, I thought about Chicago and I spit.
We feel that way about Chicago too.
I love Chicago. You know, it made me hungry because I'm thinking about a hot dog. Because this is actually one of the main ingredients for their hot dogs. So they put celery salt on the top of their hot dogs. So this is where they get that. A great savory flavor.
Love it, chicken salad.
Yeah, it's good in there too. Juniper berries, main ingredient in? Gin.
Yum.
Go figure. But it is a juniper berry, and it's got a really bright, vibrant pine flavor behind it. Really great for making pickling spices out of. It's also really good for like ducks and orange glazes and things like that. So it brings out a really great aromatic. You can actually get other parts of the pine family, Douglas fir tips. Like if you go out in the middle of like the springtime in the afternoon light or the early sun, you'll see little yellow tips on the ends of the trees. Pluck those, rub them together, and you get this amazing essential oil that comes out of them that you can use for curing salmon, flavoring tea, or making sorbets out of, or flavoring oils, which is what we used to do too. We used to do a Douglas fir or spruce, Douglas fir and spruce tips were the two that we use. Blue spruce, and the spruce tip like gravlax. You guys ever heard of gravlax? It's like a Norwegian style cured salmon. Okay, it's like what you get lox and bagels, right? Don't turn your head that way. It's distracting. So you can do that with like fir trees. So this is going to do the same kind of flavor added on there. Cloves, you guys are going to work with these a lot. They're really nice savory and sweet spices. You can use it for both ranks. We use this a lot in savory for things like our bechamel because we want to cut the richness and the heaviness of that flavor. The other reason we use it is because it's just a nice aroma. It's got a really good aromatic flavor to it. You know, you've seen it back in the day where they put it in hams and they roast it in the ham and then they pour the glazes over it. If you do crêpe Suzette, they'll actually do an onion or orange peel that's wrapped around. They'll put the cloves in there and they'll ladle the hot liquor on it and it'll spark and crackle and pop as it burns over the top of the cloves. It's a great presentation piece too. Okay. Allspice actually came from the same area that peppercorns come from. They're really a nice berry and they're bright too. This is the cool one right here. I have this three things right here. They're actually from the same family. They're actually the same thing. They're all the same. So mace and nutmeg, same thing. What it is the mace is the outside layer of a nutmeg seed. So it's like a fruit that's been dried. They both have real similar flavors, but mace is a little bit more on the savory end, where this is more of a softer flavor, better for like pastry work. Okay, but both of them, and you'll get a better aroma if you open up the container and smell that way. You can smell the savoriness of it, whereas this one's a lot more soft. and aromatic, like has a nice soft mellow aromatic to it. So send it around if you want. Yeah, it's nice, huh?
I'm okay with that kind of base thing in my bed.
All right, listen, stay with me. These are cardamom. Okay, this cardamom is black cardamom. This cardamom is green cardamom. You can get it in cardamom pods, like you see here. You can get it in cardamom seeds, which is I thought I had them, but I don't apparently. When you break these open,
Are they white?
no, they're black. I'm trying.
Eat one?
Sure.
Pretty gross.
I'd love to see that.
I'll eat it.
But look inside. You can actually buy it like this too, which is little seeds just like that.
What
So
is
you can
that?
get the cardamom. You're gonna find this a lot in Indians food, like curries and
Spicy?
no, it's just got a really
Tangy, right?
yeah. They use it in chai. If you've had chai, you've had this.
I have that.
Black cardamom is the same thing. It's just been left on with the husk, and then it's left. It's roasted, and it's the same thing inside of it. So really cool spice to work with. Here's the ground. If you want to smell what cardamom smells like, this is the ground. Anise, not anus. It's star anise.
You were going to say that.
Okay, star anise. It's in the fennel group, so it has a really nice like licorice, black licorice aroma, not Swizzler or like Twizzler smell. Red licorice, it's not that. I have to say that because there's people like Kiara around who think that.
Never said that.
You implied it, but anyway, so licoricey flavor. Okay, really bright black licorice. And then inside that pod, the star, you have the seeds. These are really great to like saute off in a dry, hot pan and get to what we call a popping spice stage, which we use in a thing called panchphoron.
I like how that cardamom just explodes.
And panchphoron is a dish that we use in rices for Indian food. Black licorice, yeah. Fisherman friends. This right here, if you eat a lot of Mexican food or Thai food or pretty much any kind of South American or Asian food, has this. Coriander. Coriander seeds. You'll see coriander in seed. You'll see it in green. And coriander makes this cilantro. That's the seed of this. And they're all edible. So you can eat the seed from it, okay?
I like the flavor.
With the cardamom or with the coriander, you usually toast it before you use it, and then you grind it and pulse it through a spice grinder. Cinnamon sticks. This is not true cinnamon. This is cassia. It's a bark that typically comes from China or Mexico. It's really great. It tastes like cinnamon, but it's a lot sharper, a lot heavier. It's a lot like more aggressive flavor. Did everybody get it? Than real cinnamon. Okay, but it's universal. It's used across the board. Okay. Next, I got some cumin seeds and some sesame seeds. You guys know cumin because you eat Mexican, you eat Thai, you eat yeah, everything. A lot of great foods.
Everything.
So good stuff, right, Chef?
Right. That is good.
So things to know about or spices like this before you go out and buy things like this, or even before you go out and buy those McCormick or McCormick bottles, or those little bottles that you don't use. Some of you probably have spices in your cabinet from 2, 3, 4 years ago, right?
No, I use mine.
Wrong. You should.
Yeah, I don't throw
You
mine.
need to stop doing that. Buy in bulk. What I mean by that is not to go buy a 5-pound bag of peppercorn. I mean, go buy what you're going to use in like a month, and then buy new the next month, and then new the next month. These, as soon as they're exposed to light and air, lose their quality really, really quickly. So, if you want to keep nice, fresh or spices, hold on to them, or use them up really quick, and get what you need. Yeah, keep them in a dark storing spot, and dry is really key. You know what? Yes, it is in here. It's in the orange right there, China. What are you doing with Uncle Ben's? Secret? Then why are you using Uncle Ben's?